Hey, what's up? It's Frano here. It's been quite a while since I've made a video, so uh, basically I've joined RTM recently and started to think about things more on a spiritual basis. It's not that I haven't been doing my like meditation and things, but now I'm actually getting more ideas to put across to make videos again. So when the time's right, like today, I'm gonna make videos. And the reason why I'm making some today is because I've just had like dreams, and dreams get you thinking. And I've even been like in the half awake, half asleep kind of uh, state today, which got me thinking about points. And it's quite funny because I was at the point where I was thinking about three, four, five ideas that I wanted to speak about in this video. And while I was like when you wake up from a dream, you forget most of it straight away. I think I forgot like one or two of the points that I wanted to make, and it was funny because like my body was almost like half paralyzed going to sleep again, and like if I just kind of let go, I would have went back into the dream and like completely forgot on most of the video I wanted to speak about. So I had to kind of like fight that. So yeah, I have to like even fight against like paralysis sometimes. But no, basically I want to talk about the future of augmented reality because I know Astra recently spoke about like float tanks. So obviously, to think about the future of like augmented synthetic reality, people are gonna like have to not be still feeling the physical world. Like when you're in a dream, you'll that's why your body paralyzes, because it's like obviously relaxed and resting, but then your brain can do all the work kind of thing. Your mind can take over and spirit and stuff, but obviously the body shuts off. So if you're in like a float lab, and then you're going into like an augmented reality, like a man-made reality, it's obviously different to dreams. But yeah, there's that aspect. But I was thinking like, so if you wanted to go in this gym, like whether it be based on a model of a real gym or not, but say you're in a float lab, how would you still get the benefits of exercise? Would you still get the endorphin rush? Like obviously, you could get the endorphin rush triggered like through like a machine. So literally, you'd be in a float lab, float tank, and have like injections and machines going in to trigger like endorphins in the brain, but you still wouldn't get the physical gains from it. So this is the point when people in the future will have to like literally accept that they don't care about their physical body, so they don't actually want the physical muscular gain as much. But I'm sure they'd figure out something. They'd try and get like something pumped to your body to pump your muscles up and stuff. But the point is, this is when people aren't going to care about the way they physically look in this reality, their actual body they've got, and they're going to care more about uh, these like endorphin rushes in their head, and they're going to care more about how their character looks in this like augmented new reality that they're going to create. This brings me to music because the key word here is synthesis, and this is something that has been prominent for like probably over 40 years, well, probably over 100, 200 years, where people were trying to use instruments to create sounds that aren't like prominent of that instrument kind of thing. So that you use like a pre-made piano, for example, like I think John Cage did probably like 60s kind of thing, or it was probably done before that, where you can like get one sound. You can play like through an input device like a keyboard or a piano, which strings are attached to different triggers. So there's different instruments and noises and different kind of things that are triggered. So it's not just like playing a piano and you get the notes all set up perfectly in tune. It's like it triggers another sound or another different texture or timbre or timbre of another sound. And obviously this goes into like how realistic it's got these days. So the synthesis of like an orchestra, where I could play like my little 16 key MIDI keyboard through an advanced software. So it's going to an advanced piece of algorithmic kind of. I got a really good definition anyway, but this is like called physical modeling. So how you'd get like a reverb, for example, or a MIDI interface which could give you like a realistic string section based on physical modeling, or like rather than me go record in like a chapel with microphones and things playing my guitar or singing, I'd have like a algorithmic equation based response system. So I just play my guitar plugged in and it would be processed through synthesis to give me a result which makes me sound like I'm playing in a big chapel. And this is like, yeah, as I say, this is done really well with music and sound. So if you look at sound, how far that's come across, and then if you look at the future of like AI and like how physical modeling will be done to give people virtual reality synthesis. So reality synthesis is actually the next thing. Like, it was obviously big in music, now it's going to be reality synthesis, and this is what people are going to be so like kind of into. Is like 99% of people won't be able to distinguish between a MIDI orchestra that someone puts together well through their little keyboard at home and an actual orchestra playing if it's done really well. And that's the thing, like people are still choosing, like people choose records, they choose physical discs rather than just digital music, because they still like the physical touch aspect and the feeling and reading about it and that whole thing. And that's like is it a spiritual thing, or are people going back in the past because they like physical things more? And people like working with people and having people play their instruments. Say if they're making like a score, they'd rather make like a movie score. If you've got a budget, you're going to put that into paying musicians, working with musicians, getting them to play in different ways, more nuanced, rather than sitting and playing like on a keyboard with like, you know, great speakers and stuff. Well, obviously that depends on your budget. Like as a composer, you're gonna have to use what you've got. At the moment, for me, it'd be completely me sitting there on my own, except maybe a few like guitar or vocal tracks, or if I know people, like if I'm lucky enough to know someone that plays the, you know, trumpet or whatever, you know what I mean. So it's basically how natural people want things to be. But there's like going back to dreams, there's layers of things, like how when you're in a dream, because you're in a like subconsciously created like world, when you think something, because you're not speaking out loud but you're thinking, your telepathic voice in the dream, it echoes out through that dream more powerfully than, you know, the power of like attraction and like the power of your own belief in reality. Because there's a lot more, I don't know, reality is obviously very different to a dream, and there's a lot more going on. There's a lot of other energies and things. When you're in a dream though, it's like it's a bubble around you and your subconscious. So when you're putting an idea out, like I was just having a dream where I was like getting my I was like in the middle of traffic out, kind of looked very similar to the motorway not far from here, So I was out on the road and I had to put my trousers on, and my trousers were there. And like there was like a car that stopped right next to me, and like a little girl in the front, and and the mother. And she was like, "Why do you not have your trousers?" And I was like, "I don't care." And like that was a big moment that like echoed, because I was like, I knew I was in a dream and I just didn't give a shit. I didn't care for the fact that like embarrassment or whatever. I was like, I don't care, and that like quickly changed. So it was like algorithmically the dream was calculating that he didn't care. So it was like a test, or will he be embarrassed and or whatever, and then I didn't care. So everything changes. Whereas if I go out and I just don't care about like the clothes I wear or something, or the looks I'm getting, it'll take a lot. It might take longer for people, because that's got to go through a person. They have to change their mind, and then like the world doesn't just change as quickly as a dream world would. But yeah, I've got a few more points to make. So this is like the internet. It's like a celebrity has got millions of people on the internet, and like they've got more of an ability. If they say something, it's like thinking that thought in your dream. When you're putting it out there in the world, like it's a lot more powerful compared to like me typing something on the internet. Like when a celebrity says a big point about politics, or like support transgender, or like something like that, or they make a statement, it's like millions and millions of people that's bouncing through the network, so it's actually a more powerful thing. Whereas like before the internet, this is something people could just do. They could, more powerfully go out and put their intention and thought into the world. And I don't know, I suppose it would just, if even speaking with a community that all knows each other, going out and saying something is a lot more resonant, and that will like change things quicker and whatnot. But these days it's all like copied through the internet. So that's basically what I'm trying to make the point of, like how we were more powerful with like our own self power, and now the internet's like, it's using technology to put it out through the like grid system, as Astra says, rather than like rather than the natural grid system that's already there to make us powerful beings. Also, I had like one minor attack in my dream, where basically last night before I went to bed, like probably an hour before I went to bed, I watched this video of this like this wrestler, and it was a 36-second video. So this is like showing you how important it is that whatever you put into your mind, it could easily come back through dreams and thoughts and stuff. Because like I watched 36 seconds of this wrestler, and then he managed to appear in my dream, but I was like the camera, I was like the floating observer watching him and another wrestler who appeared. So it was like these two agents appeared through this wrestler in my mind, in my dream, and they were wearing gold, like gold neck things, and maybe a chest thing, maybe even a head thing. It was like all gold, which is obviously magnetizing, and it was trying to like pull my energy, and they were like eye gazing, like looking at me. But I was the camera, so even at that point I was still lucid, so I could move and stuff and like change like my perception. But then another wrestler came in from behind me, and I like could turn around my observation, see him coming, swing around, and yeah, it was basically like, it was a very short like process, but you can kind of tell like whether it's my subconscious or whether it's like some agent or something. There was some like kind of energy battle there at that point. So yeah, I was using gold. That was a significant thing. Otherwise it would just be like, okay, that's the person that I looked at a video of yesterday. But because there was gold, it was like a magnetism thing, and there was eye gazing, so it was a kind of like energy battle, I thought. Yeah. So I did have one more point, as I was saying, when I was like coming to this morning and thinking about making a video. I had one more point I think that I was going to make. But yeah, the main point is how we're modeling reality now, whereas we were modeling and synthesizing sound and music. Now we're working into doing that with reality. So this is like a new thing, and people are going to have to choose whether they prefer like their own reality now, or if they want to take a dive and they want to cut off the physical and spiritual connection and go into this. Oh yeah, this is the one more point I was going to make. So you know how you play like old video games like you used to play, and there's full of like modded people flying around, they've all like hacked into the game. So this is something like if you're going into a future virtual reality, people are going to want to be lucid. Like in a dream, when you're lucid, you can fly around and stuff. But this is a lot more easy to control, because as I say, a dream comes from you more than this augmented reality. So if you're in a gym in this augmented reality, and people are like, oh fuck it, let's be lucid, let's start hacking and fly around and mess around and do these crazy things, change the colors of things, and like you would in a lucid dream. It's gonna be a lot easier for like the creator of this thing or the moderator of this thing just to be like, no, like set the rules, and like it's just gonna be disgusting, to be honest. I think lucid floating, yeah. The answer that comes from it, yeah, it's like, well, yeah, the last point here was just basically algorithmic physical modeling is based on equations and algorithms, like in music. So how I can make the click of my fingers sound like it's clicking in a chapel and echoing is based on equations and algorithms. And this is similar to how when you search in an AI thing, when you want to know information, it goes through equations and algorithms to give you, to calculate the best like the result and stuff. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to leave it there. It's the first video in a while, so it's about 16-17 minutes. So it's Frano, yeah, peace in and out and everything. So yeah, first video back in a while.